That's the first half of what I played. The second half used the note F sharp. That's the third of the chord. That's an extremely strong note over a D chord. The third is always a super characteristic note of a chord. If you hit the third, it's a safe note. It's a good, nice note to be leaning on. I went back to the fifth. That's in the chord. I bent that B note up to C, which is the seventh. So I'm hitting on chord tones. That's the lesson. That's the crux of this lesson, basically, is that if you really want the listener to hear that you're soloing over a certain chord change and not just running up and down a scale, hit those important chord tones. They're right in the chord, so they're strong notes. They make a bold statement. And they really are attached to the chords. They are related to and have something to do with the chords, which makes your solo that much more impactful and meaningful, rather than just going, which is a great scale, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't play A minor pentatonic, just don't play it exclusively. Try to find some other things to do. Go outside of the mindset of scales, that one scale can fit over all three of those chords. Get inside the chords, get deeper into the chords. All right, second lick. This one also is employing the chord tones of D, and I think I'll go something like this. I might even expand that to go. So what I'm doing there is I'm sliding up to F sharp, the third of the chord. Hitting on A, the fifth of the chord. And I'm doing that in sort of a jazzy way, a swing kind of way, almost reminiscent of maybe what a piano player would do or a horn player, but guitar players can do that kind of stuff too. There's the D note. That is the root of the chord. Can't go wrong if you hit the root of a chord. That's about the safest note there is. It's a D chord, you hit a D note. No brainer. You don't even have to think about that. So these notes are right in the pocket. And then sometimes I might go to return back to the A chord. That lick is really just, it's the note C, the note E, the note A, and then bending that B note up to C. Sweeping it a little bit, I'm picking them all down so that it kind of runs them together. And also, they happen to be on the same fret. All three of these notes are on the 5th fret. And so I'm barring to get those with my left hand. So barring and sweeping give you that sort of, which you hear a lot of blues players do. It's a great phrasing technique on the guitar. It's a beautiful sound. You can kind of do that up here too. That's playing the 12th fret, the 11th fret, and the 10th fret. Not all on the same fret, but you can sweep them. I kind of am partial to those sort of licks. I have been doing those for years. It's just part of my vocabulary, but I love hearing other players do it too. It's something I really admire. Obviously, when you listen to and are inspired by other players, you're going to try to incorporate some of that into your own playing. And I'm no different. I do the same. All right, last one. This is over the D chord, using that kind of sweeping sound that we were just talking about a minute ago. But this time I'm sweeping on the note A on the 4th string, 7th fret. By the way, tabs will be available. I'll just tab all this out, put it up on Patreon. It'll be free. You can grab it, have fun with it, do whatever you want. So don't worry, if you don't catch all this, you can look at the tab. So 4th fret of the D string, 5th fret of the G, 5th fret of the B. That's the notes A, C, and E. Those are excellent notes over the D9 chord. E being the 9th, that's a very colorful note. And then A, the 5th, safe note, and C, the 7th, a bluesy note. So it's like safe, bluesy, and colorful, all in the same lick. And then I bend the note F sharp, which is the 3rd of the chord, super important note. And then I bend that up a half step to G. So that kind of creates this tension. But I resolve it back to E and C, which are notes that are actually in the chord. G is not in the chord, but because it isn't in the chord, it creates this tension, this rub, and by resolving it back to a note that is in the chord, it totally works. Tension and release. Kind of keeps people in suspense. They're waiting for you to resolve that note. And you do by going. So all three of those licks are available on Patreon. I'll link to it down below. They all work on the 4 chord. This lesson is basically nailing the 4 chord. Don't just run scales over those chords. Get inside the chord and really give the listener something to really grab onto, and something more memorable and meaningful and impactful. All right, good aliens. I hope you enjoyed that. I will catch you later. Bye-bye.